Hello, welcome to E24. Now, it wouldn't be the X Factor, would it, each year, without all the voting drama and the show's contestants making the headlines each week. And yes, there was life before John and Edward. Remember last year there was a huge stir when Laura White was voted off. After the weeks as favourites, the Bolton singer suddenly got the boot and thousands of people signed an online petition to get her reinstated. Well, after all that, Laura's now releasing her first solo single. Well, Laura's here now. Sounds good. How's it going?
Thank you. It's going really well, thank you.
What's the last year been like?
Do you know, it's been, goodness me, it's been the craziest year, you know, there's been so many ups and downs with everything, but I'm so grateful. I'm still, you know, doing my music. I'd gigged for many years before I did the X Factor, and so I've kind of just played through and been getting all my album together, and I'm really lucky that I'm at this point now.
Yeah, and what was it like when you got booted off? Because you must have been gutted being the favourite to win at one point.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was so lucky. I mean, every week I was lucky enough to be the favourite every week until I left. So when it actually happened, I mean, it was a shock because I'd always had such amazing comments from the judges. But I mean, I just kind of took it as, you know, that's life, and I kind of just kind of thought that was my time to go, and I think things happen for a reason, so it was probably just my time.
Is there any sour grapes now, or do you still watch the X Factor?
No, I still watch it. I've actually got, this year my friends who were in it are Ricky and Rachel. Rachel obviously went last night, so I was gutted. But I mean, this year's been a good year, and this year I'm supporting Daniel. I like Daniel.
Ah, so did you speak to Rachel then after she?
I did. I actually saw Rachel this morning, and she was okay. Actually, I thought she'd be a lot more upset than she was, but she seemed good, and she still wants to do her music, so it's good.
What about Jedward? What do you make to those two?
I think they're, I think musically they're definitely not really what I'm into. But I mean, you know, it takes so many guts to get up there, and you know, and I think they try, and they're definitely entertaining. I know, like, my younger cousins love them, so they're doing good.
With your experience and also with John and Edward, do you think the X Factor's more now about good TV rather than an actual singing contest?
I think a programme with the X Factor, there's always the elements of the fact that it's a TV show, and yeah, I think sometimes it can kind of go on about the judges slightly more than the contestants, you know. And I think definitely, I think people should always try and focus on more of the talent, you know. In definitely with the contestants, I mean, they've probably worked at it. I'd worked for years with my music, and so I was really passionate to kind of get my music out there and heard. So it should be taken seriously. Yeah.
And I know you're still living in Bolton. You've been coming down to London to record your new single. Has Cheryl Cole been involved in that at all?
She's not actually done any of my new stuff. No, I mean, you know, I'm so grateful to Cheryl because she, you know, she gave me my first break, which is what I'd worked for years for. And I mean, you know, my writers have been so amazing. The people who've done my album and Madonna's producers, so I've been really blessed who I've worked with. So the show's, you know, really helped me out in a lot of ways.
That's great. Thanks ever so much for coming in today. Just before you go, were you a fan of the Backstreet Boys back in the day?
I'm a massive fan of the Backstreet Boys. I love them. So
really?
I'll be excited to see what they're doing, yeah.
Well, there were so many fans, of course, back in the 90s, so many young girls like them. The Backstreet Boys sold 75 million records, bagging countless chart hits. And if you're feeling nostalgic, the good news is they're back. The lads start their UK tour tomorrow in Newcastle and have a brand new album out called This Is Us.
It's been years in the making because I think Backstreet Boys may have lost their way a little bit, you know, and like, you know, through the years, you know, kind of finding yourself from Black and Blue, and then we had like a little bit of time off, and then started like recording albums again, went through a little transitional period, did sort of like some rock type stuff, you know, and then those albums just turned out, you know, we learned and came back to basics.
You performed on the X Factor last night. It's the first time you've ever done anything like that. What was the experience like?
You know, to be in that seat, sort of, and to be able to, you know, give your opinion, you know, on talent, you know, and on future talent, you know, that this entire country, like, you know, is loving right now. And, you know, how we felt about Rachel, you know, we were pretty vivid about that, and we felt that it wasn't the right decision, but, you know, we realized that there's two sides to it. you know, there's like an entertainment and a likability factor, and then there's also the, you know, the talent side. So I think you have to have the full package, you know, in order to really be accepted. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, and that's why I think our two little buddies, Jedward, are doing so well, because they're so damn entertaining. You know, they really are. They're a ton of fun to watch, and we didn't realize they were that big a fan. So then we invited them to the show and at our O2 Arena show.
What do you think of these talent shows in the way that that's producing, you know, kind of new bands and new acts? Because obviously when you guys first started, it was much more difficult.
Mm-hmm. I think at first, it might have had a bad taste in our mouth at first, because it was kind of like almost the easy road. You know, you win this show, you get a record deal, you get money, and then you release a record, and you know, it's kind of all mapped out and planned for you. Where with us, it was all grassroots. You know, we had to go in and like earn our keep, so to speak.
And play smash hits, Top of the Pops.
Yeah, I mean, there's but now it seems to be like it's like the new glorified Star Search. I mean, that's what we had from our generation, was like Ed McMahon up there doing Star Search. You know what I mean? Now it's X Factor, it's American Idol, it's Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. I mean, it's all these things now.
Do you think there will ever come a day when you just get, okay, we've had enough, gonna give up, retire?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately up to us at the end of the day. But I mean, our fans still want us around. We still want to be around. We love making music. We love what we do. I mean, there's no point in us not doing this for another 15, 16 years. You know, maybe not dancing at 60 years old, but who knows? By then, with our technology, we could have bionic legs and limbs and just go up there and just cut a jig, you know?
Backstreet's back then. Sophie Van Bruggen talking to the Backstreet Boys. That's all from us for now. Make sure you catch E24 again at 9:30. After the Q Awards last week, tonight we'll be at the Classic Rock Awards in central London. Tim?
No chance really like getting through those sunglasses, was there?
No, they're massive, aren't they? They're like
bug eyes. Yeah.
proper designer ones, aren't they?
Very genuine. Very jealous. Okay, thank you very much, Andy. Well, Dominic was jealous, actually.
Yeah, a classic rock, I think that's a bit more our style, isn't it?
Okay, on with the business, Hughes. Go on.
Thank you. RBS announces 3,700 more job losses, this time at its High Street branch network.